This is Estimates, the official, unofficial Booster Club podcast of the U.S. Census. Joe Biden called me and he said, hey, you whippersnapper, give me those numbers. I want to beat the numbers. And he rolled the dice and he said, you're it. All right, Tej, just like Joe Biden said to me, I say to you, you're it. What's your question?
Well, so I was thinking about, who this pandemic has really affected. And I think most of all it's affected, one person that hasn't been able to travel as much as they would like to. I'm talking, of course, about Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. He hasn't been able to go around the world as much anymore. And I don't know if he's, claiming unemployment, but that's been on my mind. My question is, how much of people's unemployment checks do you think were spent on Pitbull merchandise in 2020?
How much? You're looking for a raw?
I'm looking for
amount?
A number of money.
Amount?
Yes, I'm talking about a dollar amount.
How much Pitbull merchandise in dollars was purchased with stimulus checks? Boy,
Wait. You need to clarify for us, Tej.
Okay.
Now this is going to be very difficult for us either way, but
I don't know if you can answer this question, but it is a question that's been on my mind.
Unlike the sick question and the sushi question, this one's coming in easy.
2 weeks on the sushi question.
Arguably 3, depending on when the episodes come out. But Tej,
yeah,
are you asking us the unemployment money they spent?
Yes.
The stimulus check money they spent? Any money? What money we have to look for?
I'm talking about the stimulus money and the unemployment money. The money that people have been getting, due to the pandemic, either
but
because
are you counting people who are
That's
already
different.
on unemployment?
Yeah.
Sorry?
What about people who are already on unemployment before the pandemic?
Oh, that's a good question.
The intent of the money has to be for COVID relief.
The intent of the money. That is a difficult task. But yeah, I would guess like it's for COVID relief. I don't know how you can quantify money, coming in through that specifically to COVID relief. But that was my thought.
Are you guys hearing my street sounds over there?
Oh, that was Hamilton.
Motorcycle sounds.
I really thought that was Hamilton making a noise in his mouth.
Revolting.
You muted me because you thought I was making motorcycle sounds?
I noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I was offended.
I unmuted you when I saw you were going to talk. Look, I'm just trying to... Okay, Tej, sorry, I was distracted.
No,
say your question one more time.
Listen,
I lost count and I ate them. There's no going back.
Gotta start over. I'm still confused. To what extent are we counting unemployment?
So I think the intent of the money has to be for COVID relief.
What do you mean the intent? There's no intent. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, like stimulus checks, the intent were for COVID-19 related relief. So were the unemployment cases that were filed during this time. So I think we can do all stimulus checks plus unemployment claims that were filed during the pandemic. So I guess from March onwards.
That makes sense.
Okay,
I mean,
so
you
I
could
can
also
tell you
just get the unemployment rate that's above average if you want. Like, you could subtract the amount of unemployment that might have existed otherwise if you wanted to. Like, I feel like that's actually a calculable amount of money. The stimulus checks is a multiplication game, and so is the unemployment. But yes.
All right. Well, the good news is here at the census office, we definitely have the records. We have the specific numbers of the amount of stimulus money and new unemployment claims that have gone out. Joey, do you have those handy? You got those?
Yeah. They fell over, but I'll pick them up for next episode. It's got to be more than $1,000 and less than $20 trillion. So somewhere between that range.
I think I remember it being the same as that. I think you're right.
And I can already see in my mind's eye the calculation that we're gonna do. Yeah, about that. Yeah. You're on the right track. You're good, kid.
So let's start working on the other end of this equation. What the hell is Pitbull merchandise? First of all, does music count as merchandise?
Yes.
Is it from Planet Pit?
Sorry, what was that?
Is it from like Planet Pit, Pitbull's official brand, or can it be like a bootleg merchandise?
Is that real? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got the numbers behind the numbers here.
Do things that just say Dale on them count, even though they're not from Pitbull?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the trademark status in the sovereign nation.
Right. So what are we defining as Pitbull merchandise, Tesh?
So I hear that the music does count.
Pitbull merchandise.
We've learned about Planet Pit from Joey. I don't know what they produce at Planet Pit. Bumper stickers, stuffed animals. I got no idea.
Ideology.
So I know the amount of monthly listens Pitbull has on Spotify.
Oh wait, so you're saying the money that comes in from streaming services also counts?
No, because that's not merchandise.
Well,
so I'm talking if you're buying CDs or vinyl or T-shirts or a pillowcase with his face on
it. Do you guys think Pitbull's records come out on vinyl?
I think so.
Wait.
I mean,
I think it's awesome. To me,
there are Pitbull vinyls. Those exist.
Those definitely exist.
They exist. I don't know that people are rushing to the record store for the Pitbull vinyl, but
yeah, but there are people that have
is someone who owns one.
Right.
Now, there might, I honestly might believe that there have been no Pitbull vinyls sold during the COVID crisis. Oh wait, what was the time? The time frame just involved like stimulus money, right?
Yeah.
So, when the stimulus checks went out. So yeah,
I think the way that people living vicariously through Mr. Worldwide because they can't go out.
The way that I would approach this question is to try and figure out the normal monthly or I don't know weekly income of Pitbull merchandise from. Am I getting this? Wait, so let's refocus. Is this stuff sold by like a Pitbull holding company or anything Pitbull related?
I would imagine, if it's got, Pitbull's face on it, even though it's maybe a step removed from Pitbull's company, if it's being sold at a secondary store, say out of like Guitar Center or something, it's still Pitbull merchandise, right? Like if you're buying a Pitbull T-shirt from Sam Ash Music, it'll still, the money will find its way back to Pitbull.
Okay, wait. What about so my definition was slowly shifting to
a demo product.
My definition for this is slowly shifting towards like physical things that you can buy for Pitbull. But you're saying his music, not streaming services, but can you buy like an MP3? Is it money directly going to Pitbull? I think we have a bunch of like cross definitions here.
You're right. I think I was thinking more along the lines of physical merchandise, but I do see that MP3s would make sense. What do you guys think? Do you want to include that in the question? Because I hadn't really thought about the MP3s.
To me, I don't know if a musician's music counts as merch. I don't know. When I think of merch, like posters, T-shirts,
right,
promotional materials like that.
I do think if somebody's buying a CD of one of Pitbull's albums, I would consider that merchandise. If somebody's buying a vinyl of one of his albums, I would definitely consider that merchandise.
Right, physical Pitbull
product.
paraphernalia.
What if say I upload my own Pitbull design to a T-shirt website and people purchase that? Is that Pitbull merchandise?
Oof.
Tej, we have to talk about at the beginning of part 1, I mentioned realistic questions. And I think this is an important time to remind ourselves things that the census can and can't track. You know, as the census, we would love to know all the bootleg Pitbull merchandise, but really we have to look at taxable items. We have to look at things that are, officially tracked.
That's a good point.
So I think we should focus first on the official Pitbull merchandise market and move ourselves when basically we mature as both a country, as a census, as a cultural institution to investigate the Pitbull black market. So if I can humbly suggest this, I think we should start with stimulus money that looks that is being used on Pitbull official
merchandise. I agree with that. That sounds good to me.
Label.
Okay, I think that makes sense. I would like to comment that I think it's very funny and a very generational thing that physical copies of music are considered merchandise by us.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't agree with that, but that's Tej's decision.
Oh, I agree. I think it's the definition of merchandise has developed over the years to include CDs and vinyl.
Because they're unnecessary.
Pitbull cassettes. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I guess you guys are right. Okay, but so my starting point for this is not so much to look at the stimulus money that's gone out, though we at the census know that exact number because we have a good relationship with the Treasury Department and Congress and such. We're on good terms. We're on speaking terms. But what I would look at is pre-COVID monthly sales from Pitbull, and then the spike, and see when the stimulus money started to go out, and then how the Pitbull spike, or I guess it would have to be a spike. I guess you wouldn't, Tej, you wouldn't qualify to say that people got stimulus money and then spent less money on merchandise that would be useful.
I guess I wouldn't expect a Pitbull low, if that's what you're saying. I would expect a Pitbull. I would expect
without their incomes.
I think people want to live vicariously, and who better to live vicariously through than Mr. Worldwide?
Basic need.
Essential goods.
Pitbull merchandise is essential goods.
It does change things that Pitbull's base is in Miami. And Florida has.
That's a great point, Joey. And I was going to bring this up because in Florida, we have fake dead people, right? Who knows how many of Pitbull's shell companies are filing unemployment claims for dead people and then funneling that money to Pitbull and to the label.
That's not merchandise.
Hold on. Do we have fake dead people in Florida?
That's the funneling mechanism. What'd you say?
We have fake dead people in Florida? How many fake dead people do we have in Florida?
Most of the state. Yeah.
Wait, that's not a thing.
Wait, by fake dead people, do you mean living people?
I'm sorry. I mean, of course, dead people who are being claimed as living in order to cast votes or receive stimulus checks.
Guys, fake dead people.
Is this proven?
It's population of like
Hold
20.
on.
What did you say?
Is this a proven thing? Do we actually have info on this?
Yeah, Florida's rife with dead people related voter fraud.
Oh wow, I didn't know. Crazy. I just assumed there were a lot of ghosts in Disneyland.
So wait, so are you getting this from our president's voter fraud investigation?
That's right. We here at the census.
Damn it.
The voter fraud investigation. No, this is from when we were kids. I'm talking like
we did this.
We were dead people in Florida.
We were fake dead people.
Fake dead people.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, obviously we're fake dead people, Joey.
Okay,
come on.
so then, all right, so Mavi, I guess definitely that increases our number. We're looking, Tej, and to be clear, we're looking nationwide.
Yeah,
or Florida
nationwide.
Worldwide. Come on, worldwide.
No, it's Mr. Worldwide. But we at the Census Bureau don't have information on other people's, censuses.
Oh, you'd
the
be
50
surprised.
states.
Have you heard of the Five Eyes initiative?
No.
Puerto Rico, does that count as a place that can purchase with stimulus checks?
I think so.
Or just
One,
states?
I would say Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., so it should count. But I don't think there have been any stimulus checks that have gone out to Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Isn't it?
I was reading an article about like how there haven't been there haven't been any stimulus checks that have gone out to Puerto Rico during this crisis.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so I guess so right now, if we're, estimating and using our methodology, then to go back to our reason d'etre, we want to find what we think a normal number of Pitbull sales would be. And, he hasn't come out with an album in a little while. So
Pitbull
it's
is a Miami party musician. He's making his money touring. He's making his money through concerts. I think, merch is no longer a major income stream for musicians, and I think Pitbull maybe least of all. Not least of all, but I don't think he's someone who's selling a lot of merch. What is Pitbull merch? Who's buying a Pitbull bobblehead? What are we talking about here?
bald caps.
Pitbull written on them.
No, they look like him.
A lot of people named Dale would buy Pitbull merch.
Daily.
So I'd be willing to bet like a really low number. Like my overall estimates, I'm thinking like something real small. I was going to do like maybe I was thinking 100,000, but that's too low. Like $1 million. I'd say $1 million. But now I'm wondering if I'm going to have another moment like I had in college where I realize that everything is by Beyonce. It's like, oh, I haven't heard much Beyonce music. I don't see why she's so popular. And then I realized that every popular song was by Beyonce. So what if every popular hat is a Pitbull hat and I just didn't know?
He's not a hat guy though, so you can cross that off the list.
Yeah.
I think what he's getting
Buick, I don't know.
His merch sales are coming from
Sunglasses.
From sunglasses and CDs.
Yeah, sunglasses, CDs, probably like T-shirts or something.
Posters.
Do you think
I think
it's like a commission off of every sunglass now?
Every sunglass hut has a picture of Pitbull in the corner.
You were saying
I think this number is low. I think it's really low. I don't think there's much Pitbull merch, and I think it's all fallen by the wayside in the pandemic. I'm gonna guess that we're in the range of money specifically from the stimulus. Nothing. I think we're in the range of like $50,000.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I would probably think more than 50,000. I would probably think around 200,000 would be. He I know he does have he has a cologne line.
Who's buying cologne? No one's going anywhere. Everyone's at home.
Yeah, but who doesn't want to smell like Pitbull?
People are still getting things delivered. People are still having some modicum of like their normal shopping habits. Some are reduced, but some aren't. So like some of it's just natural momentum.
Sunglasses? These are things that people no longer need, let alone
people. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that people shop for things they needed exclusively.
It's fair.
boom. All right.
How much?
So
all right. So let me ask you this: how much do you think the average Pitbull merchandise item costs? Because that's what we need in order to figure out, how many people have bought it, and then how much money is there actually being spent on that.
Well, that really depends on the extremes, like is he putting out sticker sheets, Pitbull sticker sheets for 25 cents a pop? Is he putting out like a Pitbull signature guitar for $20,000? What's going on?
Coloring book?
A Pitbull coloring. I would totally buy a Pitbull coloring book. That sounds
exactly.
Awesome. That sounds awesome.
All right, coloring books, that's something whose sale I would imagine has increased.
Yeah.
So, I think part of the thing here is I think this is an especially tricky question because I have a sneaking suspicion Pitbull actually has been pretty low key in terms of making new stuff since the most recent Fast Furious non-Hobbs and Shaw movie came out. He's been keeping it low key. So he for the past about year and a half, 2 years.
Sorry,
So
just for the listeners at home, can you explain the relationship between Pitbull and the Fast and the Furious franchise? Not for me, but for the listeners.
Well, first of all, Pitbull is bald, but he also exudes Fast Furious energy, and he exudes Miami energy, which was especially important in the Too Fast, Too Furious movie, where he had a featured song that was early in the 2000s, right when he was beginning to rise up in popularity. Many of the fans crossed between the Fast Furious and Pitbull franchise. Now,
you think just through that, each time there's a Fast and the Furious release, there's a significant spike in Pitbull interest?
hold on.
Okay,
So,
I'm holding on.
so that's the initial connection between the two.
All right, okay.
Then they came back to the Gulf of Mexico area. I forget if he was in Miami, but oh no, it was in Cuba. Right. There was a movie. One of the movies was set partially in Cuba. Pitbull, although he is very anti-Castro, is Cuban American himself, and so he feels very strongly connected to both Fast Furious, the Cuban American experience, and so he made a new hit song called Green Light for that movie. Since that point, he has not released any major hits. So he either is working on something. Oh, also, Pitbull's New Year's Revolution, which is hosted every year in Miami, was discontinued around that time as well. So there was a serious decrease in the amount of public work that he was doing, besides opening a Pitbull charter school, which I don't know how that factors into merchandising. But my point just being that since that point, since Fate of the Furious came out, he's been keeping relatively low key for being Mr. Worldwide.
Wait a second,
So,
he's got a charter school?
Mm-hmm.
They have to buy
Athletic management
uniforms?
school.
Do they have to buy uniforms at that school?
Oh, that's merchandise.
But here's the thing. What parents would be buying school merchandise right now if they don't know if they're going to be going to school next year?
Yeah, that's true.
So don't factor that in just yet.
No, but Pitbull, that probably requires you to have like Pitbull pencils and books to write in as well for his school. Pitbull branded laptops.
Well, anyway, so
How's the row going, Ham? While we think this over.
sorry.
Ham, you're muted.
Don't. I muted myself. Don't. I got it. You shush. I'm at about 600, and it really looks like I've made no progress. So I'll fill you in next episode, but I will be continuing at it as we go because I don't want to. I can't put this in the. I don't know what to do with this except eat it as quickly as possible. It's a bunch of fish eggs sitting in the sun right now.
All right, keep count. Don't lose count, please.
So
While you're doing that, Joey, what was that Pitbull song? I think it was something like in Hamilton. Listen up to this. I think it was called something like 60173 200 467 891 694 600 734, something like that. You know that one?
Isn't that the Optimum Cable thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
877-393-444-8. With the Pitbull
How's that counting going again, Ham? What are you at?
691.
I see. And Joey, what was the name of that song? While you're counting, Hamilton?
Green Light.
Oh, I see.
So my point just being about Pitbull is I don't think that much merch, like compared to previous, like the early 2010s and mid 2010s, I don't think that much merch was coming in to begin with. And there's no particular reason that people would be more invested besides the fact that they are, suffering and under a lot of stress and would like an escape that Pitbull indeed offers. Now you haven't done this, but I don't know if perhaps Fireball, the alcoholic drink, has spiked in sales because people are listening to a fun song like Fireball. I don't know if that counts as merchandise or not.
See, that's the thing. Does he own Fireball? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised
if he owns
does.
Fireball. We've decided to limit this to official merchandise, right? So if he owns Fireball, I guess that could be something but I
That would be a
doubt.
giant amount of money. So I would, I'm gonna take the risk here, and I'm gonna say $1,000.
All right. Yes.
I'm basically gonna go to zero
Yeah.
and say, and take
I'm
my
with you.
bets and say that it's very minimal. Because people, I don't think you're gonna see a significant spike, which makes it hard to tell if any stimulus money is being used. There may be some stimulus money being used, but it may be so negligible that it could just be someone's savings they had already. They're using the stimulus on rent, and they're using their savings on their Pitbull vinyl.
It's kind of hard to determine like what
I
the
mean,
intention behind the
think
spending is.
right.
Yeah.
I think if they have gotten stimulus money and they've bought Pitbull merchandise, you don't have to specifically use that stimulus money to buy the merchandise, as long as you're getting that money in, and then now that you have some extra money, you're trying to buy Pitbull merchandise. I think.
Well, my point then for tracking is just that the numbers were not low, but pretty regular to begin with. And since he's not producing any music, he might be on the verge of a new album. If he comes out with a new album in the next few weeks, we're gonna look like absolute suckers. But
It's true, and
right now,
by
since
extension, the
nothing-
U.S. government.
Exactly. Yes, we're gonna look like fools. So my number is gonna be 1,000. Tej, you said 200,000.
I did.
Mavi, you said 50,000. Hamilton, do you want to raise it at all? I feel like we're all pretty conservative about this number, and that's usually means that we're all wrong. But Hamilton,
let's
go
all
ahead.
try to unmute him. At the same time.
My first guess was $1 million. I still think, like, given the span of time that these stimulus checks are coming through and unemployment, we're talking about like a quarter year so far, nearly, of unemployment benefits, which may or may not have been received.
Firms are making $1 million in a couple months from merch. I don't think that's true under normal circumstances.
I mean, he's a rich. Yeah, I guess I'm just assuming he's like a high-level star. So like, who's making like multi-million dollars from like music, somewhere in the 20s or 50s per year. That's what I'm assuming, but I don't really even know if he's making that much per music. I could assume that like he makes maybe 1 to 5 million from merch on an annual year. So maybe 1 million is a little bit high, but I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go a little bit higher than this. I'm just going to assume that people have bought it pretty much regularly. As for like whether or not it was the stimulus money that did it. Maybe a buoy. It's hard to measure. Yeah, I'm going to stick with $1 million, although maybe my gut would tell me to go a little bit lower.
I'm going to say if this lockdown and the influx of this COVID, like the pandemic money, keeps coming in for a couple more months, I think Puerto Rico supplies a large part of his fan base, and once they start getting stimulus checks, which is I believe in like June, then those merch sales, those are going to go through the roof. So we just gotta wait.
We make well, first of all, okay, our numbers, again, to be clear, considering how big of a star Pitbull is, our numbers are all very conservative. So the difference between 1,000 and even $1 million, which is a lot of money, is still pretty conservative.
I don't think $1 million on merchandise is conservative. $1 million, I don't think, is very conservative for merchandise sales.
All right, don't beat up on me. Hamilton said it. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to round up, our big question of the day is how much stimulus money from the COVID pandemic emergency from the federal government to individual citizens is then being spent on Pitbull official-ish hard merchandise. We have to check if he owns Fireball. Now, in our speed round, I have a question. Does anyone else have a question they want to use? We'll do one more, so anyone can go.
I got a question too, but let's go for yours. Let's hear yours.
Hamilton, do you have a burning one?
I never really do. I'll be honest. I always feel put on the spot.
Mine is it's timely. Mine is it's not about a specific location, I guess. It's more about the state of the economy and life. So someone want to give me a company that they consider to be evil?
I mean, Amazon's a good
I
one.
mean, yeah, that's the first one that springs to my mind too.
I mean, if you want to use Amazon, you can. I think it's a little trite, but whatever.
Yeah,
Trite?
I'm trying to think
Okay.
of any other company that is.
Monsanto.
My call cut out for a moment, but you're asking for an evil company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Shadow Incorporated, the Iowa primary app people?
Oh, interesting. Didn't they rebrand as like Light?
Probably.
You just meet Joey's real niche hipster categories for evil company. Joey doesn't like your standard evil company. He has to get
I mean,
his kicks elsewhere.
Amazon. Whatever.
No, I mean, yeah, I would also agree. Amazon's just too easy, you know. It's like it's just out there. You gotta go for something a little deeper, like Shadow.
It's like David kicking up at Goliath. Come on, it's like it's not really fair. So are we going with Shadow or anyone else? What do you guys think? I'll the three of you decide.
How about the Nugan Hand Banking Group?
Okay.
I
God
don't
Throwing things
know
out there.
what that is.
So are we picking Shadow?
For sure, dude. Hey, what's Shrekley's pharmaceutical company called?
Oh, that's a good question.
Let me clarify right now for my question. It should like be operating right now.
All right, currently operating.
Current operating evil company.
To be fair, we have, according to our to not be named platform,
It's
7 minutes
That's
left.
fine because we're in the
Yeah.
lightning round. That is a-okay.
Yeah. How long does lightning take to strike, Hamilton?
For us, like half an hour.
Oh, okay. Then then no. Well, okay. Then hurry up. What do you guys want? To give you reference, like I thought of this question, because I was thinking about insurance companies, but like,
Okay.
whatever you want to use.
What's your insurance company, Joey?
Let's go with Exxon Mobil.
All right,
Yeah,
ExxonMobil.
ExxonMobil. All right, this will be interesting then for ExxonMobil.
Okay.
Okay, it's not actually that. It's more serious than anything else. But how much of a profit has Exxon made in April of 2020?
That's your estimate?
Oh, that is
ExxonMobil profits April 2020.
that's interesting. Well,
I
Would you
don't
rather
really know
use Shadow?
much
You
about
can-
ExxonMobil.
I mean, I think the primary thing they're in is oil, right?
First of all,
And
can I ask a question? When's the last time anyone here checked up on ExxonMobil? Are they still called ExxonMobil? Has there been a significant change in their operation?
no, they're definitely I would say I'm 98% sure they're still called ExxonMobil. And I'm also pretty sure that the largest industry they have a hand in is oil.
You
I
said
think they
profit, Joey, is that right? Profit?
Yeah. And the question came about for me because I was thinking like all these insurance companies are giving back money, or at least they're like advertising they give back money. Like how much money must an insurance company be making? So like what's the change?
Fair enough.
So April we can use April because it's a pretty clear time when there's COVID
2020 ExxonMobil profits. Well, as we all know, in April 2020, oil reached its all-time low of
negative $32 a barrel, which is insane.
How many barrels did you guys buy? How many are you sitting on? You guys want to give us a video tour of your house right now and show us your barrel rooms?
I mean, I don't know if I bought any. I was paid to take them. So
that's probably not good for profit.
probably not. No.
Unless they shorted it.
Unless they shorted
They
oil.
bought their own. They got someone to sell it. Wait, to pay them the money for the oil.
That's what I did.
ExxonMobil would. Okay,
They
so
should have called you, Hamilton.
what's the net gain or
Dude,
I guess loss?
Okay, so that's the question. Do you guys think that it's possible that they posted a loss? I mean, posted is probably the wrong word. I'm sure the numbers aren't public, but do you think
we're talking just April 2020, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think
revenue is a specific
it is
term.
possible
He
that
said profit.
He said profit. So
is profit negative or is it just zero?
Well, no, profit can be negative. A profit or loss would be in the same sort of breath. You like if you had negative profit, you had a loss.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys think it's plausible that they experienced an overall loss in April?
I think it is actually. I think posting a loss for this month. I don't think it would be measured by month. It might be, but for the quarter would definitely be possible.
You don't think they've structured themselves to be kind of like resistant to any kind of volatility in oil prices?
I think they
They've
have.
been going for decades and decades.
No, I think they have, but I don't think they were expecting a negative $32 a barrel. I mean, there were places in the Midwest where people were filling up their entire tanks for less than $5, because gas was like at, 4 or 5 cents a gallon or something.
Okay, so ExxonMobil, they do the whole shebang, right? From drilling all the way to
Delivery.
gas stations or whatever.
Yeah, I think they do that. The biggest thing that they do is refining the oil.
They run the refineries as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you are, from inception to delivery entirely responsible for that oil, you're like any hiccup in that process, especially if you're not being able to take that oil from your refineries to, you're not being able to transport that oil from the refineries to the gas stations because the gas stations are full of oil because nobody's buying that oil, right? There's a backup, and then they definitely had to at some point start renting out tanks and containers and things like that just to store that oil. So they were paying for that as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I got to say though, in my mind, a firm like ExxonMobil, I'm sure they've insulated themselves so much that their money making is almost independent of the price of oil. I think it's very unlikely that they posted a loss. I don't know if posted is a relevant word here, but I would say that their profits they're definitely profiting. Probably lower than usual. I really have no way to figure out what usual is. We have less than a minute here, so it's time for me to make my guess. I think in April 2020, they made $20 million. That's their profit, a profit of $20 million.
A profit of $20 million.
That's right. All right, you guys got seconds. We don't know how many seconds. You got to blurt it out. Throw it out there.
Negative that number.
Negative 20 million. All right.
I think that hiccup wouldn't have been big enough. I think it's way more than that. I think they posted a profit of 200 million.
That makes sense to me. I really don't know the scale of
I mean, generally they post profits of billions of dollars.
On an annual basis or quarterly basis?
I would think a quarterly basis, but
okay, right.
It might be annual. I'm not actually sure.
I think that makes sense. I'm going to throw my weight behind your guess as well. Numbers behind the numbers.
Okay. So Hamilton, are you going to go negative 200 million now?
Negative $5.
Oh, you pulled it.
Breaking even, okay. But
all right.
I lost this on that.
Snickers at lunch.
A spade is a spade, and we got to call a spade what it is, and that's estimates part 1 and part 2.
Part 1 and 2.
Hey.
Join us next week when we have a special guest to shed some light on Pitbull's financial situation.
Pitbull.